allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd ask that everybody please remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of our student, Martin Perez. Thank you. Okay, good evening and welcome to the South River Board of Education regular meeting of Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Laws of 1975 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of the meeting of the South River Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On January 17, 2024, the notice was delivered to the office of the South River Borough Clerk and posted at the Board of Education Administration Building. On January 17, 2024, the notice was faxed mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger. On January 17, the notice was posted at the South River Borough Clerk's office. Mr. Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Bazak. Here. Mr. Butson.
Here.
Mrs. Bush.
Mrs. Bush has been excused.
Mrs. Byrne.
Mrs. Byrne has been excused.
Mrs. Lau.
Here.
Mr. Nielsen.
Here.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Here.
Mrs. Young-Yao.
Here.
Mrs. Urbanik.
Here.
Emmanuel Bezerra.
She will not be attending. She is excused.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Going through our agenda, the first item on our agenda are the minutes from our meetings. Mr. Rosa?
So there have been no additions from our pre-meeting.
Thank you. Board members, what is your pleasure on the minutes?
Move the reading of the minutes.
We have a motion by Vice President Nielsen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lell. Seeing no questions or additions, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Our use of facilities, Mr. Rosa.
All right, so we have 4 new additions. Number 1582, South River Cultural Art and Heritage Commission. Number 1583, South River ESL Department. Number 1584, South River ESL Department. Number 1585, High School Boys Varsity Basketball.
Thank you. Board members, any questions on the additions to the agenda for use of facilities? Seeing none, do we have a motion for this?
Move the use of facilities in accordance with board policies.
We have a motion by Vice President Nielsen. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Young-Yao. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to go to our financial report. Ms. Lell.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report, which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for March 2024 be approved, and I so move.
We have a motion by Ms. Lell,
Second.
second by Vice President Nielsen. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Ms. Lell, do you have anything else under financial reports?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to turn the meeting over to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Zurcher.
Thank you, Mrs. Urbanik. And before I begin my report today, we have a special recognition. And I would like to inform the public that our board president, Cindy Urbanik, was recognized on May 1st for her 30 years of service to a Board of Education. And there was a lovely ceremony that was hosted by the New Jersey School Boards Association. And I'd like to read some of the remarks that were made at that recognition ceremony. And also present you.
Oh, I
with
love
some
the
flowers
ribbon.
And a plaque.
Thank you very much. Please
This is what we shared with the public at that meeting. Mrs. Urbanek exemplifies the quintessential dedicated board member. Her commitment to the well-being and education of our children is unwavering, and she is equally devoted to the overall success and welfare of our community. Cindy skillfully balances her professional, personal, and board responsibilities, demonstrating exceptional organizational abilities. Beyond her board duties, she enriches her church community with her beautiful singing voice and compassionate spirit. As a superintendent, I could not ask for a more exemplary partner. Her expertise, guidance, and constructive feedback have been instrumental in our collective achievements. As a female leader and professional, Cindy is a true inspiration. It is with great admiration and gratitude that we congratulate her on 30 years of service and acknowledge the profound impact she has made on countless lives. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you, every one of you. This is truly a surprise. You kind of got that one by me.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate being up here on the board. The only way that it does work is that this board works so well together. I couldn't be happier with all the members through all the years and what we've accomplished. When I began on the board, the schools were in not the best of shape and not the best public opinion. Since that time, we now have people looking to send their children to South River Public Schools. It is made for a better community. Just to be a small part of that is just truly rewarding. These flowers are beautiful too, thank you. And it just humbles me to be just a little tiny part of touching all the lives here, as I'm sure it does all of you each and every day, that somebody goes to school here, somebody graduates from here, or that you see somebody go on to higher education. So again, thank you very much. I just don't know what else to say. And wow, 30 years. I'm a little overwhelmed. So thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So we'll continue now with the superintendent's report, please.
All right, so I do want to remind our public, we have our day of service, our annual day of service. It is scheduled for June 3rd. This is a day that we dedicate for all of our students. Every single student in South River will be performing a service activity. And we look forward to reporting back on all of the wonderful ways that our children contributed to our community and beyond. I want to remind parents that our spring standardized assessments will be completed by the end of this month. We will receive results for those later on in the summer or early fall. And just a reminder to parents to consider these assessments as only one measure of our students' performance and success. But we also, of course, know that our teachers' feedback, overall performances in class, and so on are a big part of that picture as well. I want to remind the public that our budget is posted on our district website. It will also be presented at our curriculum fair tomorrow. And speaking of, our curriculum fair is tomorrow. It is tomorrow here at the high school, where you will have the opportunity to see tons of student work displays, demonstrations, meet with community members. We also have our district art show at the middle school cafeteria. We have performances happening here in this auditorium throughout the evening. We have our Star Lab planetarium that will be taking place at the middle school gymnasium. Fun-filled day. Our food service company will be around providing some samples. So we encourage everyone to please attend our curriculum fair tomorrow. And the last thing I have on my report today is just an opportunity during this recorded meeting to provide an update and some clarification on our Early Learning Center. And I think the best way, I've received a lot of questions. There are several misconceptions about the Early Learning Center, its funding. I think the best way to help people understand what took place during and after the referendum is to really liken our situation with the Early Learning Center to one that is familiar in many households. And so, for example, let's take a young couple who is preparing to buy a home. They find the perfect house that will fit all of their needs for now, but also for the future. But this house is beyond what they can afford with their existing income and budget. So they approach their boss, they ask for a raise, they're trying to raise their income, but their boss advises them that they cannot meet this request. So much like that scenario, the school district needed space in classrooms for our preschool program. And this presentation is not a debate about whether we should have a pre-K. That was determined by our educators, much like they determine when we need an additional AP class or specialized reading program and so on. So the district needed a building for pre-K, which they could not afford this optimal building that was planned within the existing budget. And therefore we went to the public for a referendum to ask voters for additional funding through local taxes. And just like that couple's situation, the voters said, no, we're not in a position to fund this. So if we think back to our couple, even though they weren't getting those extra funds, they still needed a house. And so they made some adjustments to their wish list. They looked to buy a cheaper house that still meets all of their needs, and they take out a mortgage to pay for this house over time. In the same way, the district still needs a building for the pre-K, and so therefore it revised its plans to build a more affordable version of a school that will still meet all of our needs. We will pay for this project over time within our budget and without any bonds or additional funding from taxpayers, and through a loan that's called a lease purchase. I'm going to now turn it over to Mr. Rosa, our business administrator, and he will provide in more detail how a lease purchase works.
Thank you, Dr. Zurcher. So the use of lease purchase financing is defined and governed under the New Jersey Administrative Code 6A. A school district may finance a facility construction project through the use of a lease purchase agreement of 5 years or less to fund a project in full. Think of it like a 5-year mortgage, which you pay over time until you own the property in full. A facility lease purchase financing option provides a way for local New Jersey school districts to acquire needed construction projects without the immediate financial burden of a large payment all at once. Instead, payments are scheduled over time, over 5 years or less, as per the lease agreement terms. In other words, a lease purchase agreement is simply a funding mechanism. We're able to take on this lease purchase agreement due to our financial stability. One of the reasons is that the district will be paying off the 2 remaining debt service bonds within the next 3 years. The bond series 2015 will be paid off in 2025, and the bond series 2020 will be paid off in 2027. The best advantage of a lease purchase is that the taxpayer will not see an increase in their property tax bill. And I will repeat that again. The best advantage of a lease purchase is that the taxpayer will not see an increase in their property tax bill. We will pay this project through our regular operating budget in the next 5 years. Let me remind everyone that the 2% tax levy cap is a New Jersey state mandate. Many of you have probably seen in the news a new law that was recently signed by the governor of New Jersey, which would allow some districts to go over the 2% tax levy without voter approval. Just so we're clear, the South River Public Schools is not one of the districts that are allowed to go over the state mandated tax levy cap of 2%, as we have not lost state aid funding. The 2% increase, again, is not funding the Early Learning Center construction costs, but rather helps support increases in our operating costs such as personnel, salaries, health benefits, inflation, transportation, and all other operating cost necessities that increase year to year. The district is undertaking various projects over the next few years that will be funded through our capital and maintenance reserves. These are funds that the district has reserved for particular projects to get done in conjunction with our long-range facility plan, as well as contingency funds for emergency circumstances. These funds are already acquired, and funds are allocated to various projects as needed. We will have a chart detailing our projects and funding sources posted on our website, and we will also have, as Dr. Zurcher mentioned before, our 2024-25 budget presentation displayed at the curriculum fair tomorrow evening, where we hope to see you all there. Thank you.
So concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zurcher. And once again, just thank you for this, now that I've kind of realized what happened here. I'd just like to thank everybody in South River for bringing me back to the board where I really love to be for the past 30 years. And also special thanks to the guy in the audience there, my husband, Gene Urbanek, for being there for 30 years while I've been on the board. Thank you. Okay, so we have the superintendent's report. Do any board members have any questions or comments on the superintendent's report?
I think I want to thank the doctor and Johnny for that information out there to the public. Hopefully they'll listen to it. Hopefully they'll listen to it and understand what's going on and dispel all those rumors and misinformation that's out there by people who have never attended a meeting and asked a question in regards to the Early Learning Center. Thank you for that information, and let's hope it doesn't fall on deaf ears. That's
Good
all I have
point.
to say.
Thank
President
you.
Urbanek, may I add a comment?
Of
In
course.
terms of the Finance Committee, we appreciate the detail that Mr. Rosa and Dr. Zurcher went to explaining it, because with the curriculum fair coming and the budget presentation being available, it just opens up more transparency as to like what actually is happening and how the funding is happening even before tomorrow night. Even though like they might not see this presentation till after tomorrow night, it's a precursor. So we're anticipating questions, and they're moving forward with like the presentation to explain it so that we have an informed community. And that's a really important part of this process, is having an informed community. So I just want to reiterate from the Finance Committee that we appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Any other board members? So what is your pleasure on the superintendent's report?
Move the superintendent's report is read.
Motion by Vice President Nielsen,
Second.
second by Mr. Bezak. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. At this time, the board is going to open up its meeting for the reception of visitors. This is so that the public may address agenda items only. There will be a public portion later on this evening for any matters that are of relevance to the Board of Education. If you do come to the microphone, please state your name and address, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. So call for the public on the first call, second call, third call. This public portion is closed. At this time, under President of the Board, we have the consent resolution. Mr. Rosa, what items are under there, please?
So South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time, whereas the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the said Board of Education in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. And these are under Superintendent of Schools 3.2, and the President of the Board 5.2 through 5.3, under Finance 8.1 through 8.51, under Instruction 9.1 through 9.10, under Policy and Legislation 11.1 through 11.4, under Human Resources 12.1 through 12.28, and under Safety and Risk Management 13.1 through 13.10.
Thank you. Board members, what is your pleasure on the consent resolution?
Move the consent resolution.
We have a motion by Vice President Nielsen,
Second.
second by Ms. Sadowski. Are there any questions, any items that any board member would like to be read separate, or any abstentions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
8.1, I see the auditors here. Is he going to give a report on
Yes.
the audit?
Yeah,
Under
And the entire
finance?
committee?
when it's
Okay.
time, yeah.
Yes, good
They
question.
usually do that early, so get out of here.
I think he likes being here. This is one of his favorite. It'll be coming up soon, but that's very appreciative, Mr. Budson, to get him out of here. We will. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Basak?
Yes.
Mr. Budson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lau?
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yes.
Mrs. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Young Yao?
Yes.
Mrs. Urbanek?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Our committee reports. Mr. Budson, to you for athletics and extracurricular.
There's nothing on the agenda, but I'd like to congratulate Mr. Lepore on his 300th victory. And I wish him to get 400. That's all I have.
Thank you. Buildings and grounds, Vice President Nielsen.
Nothing new, but as you can see, more modulars have been
Yeah.
put in place on our early learning center. We're moving ahead. If we can keep the rain down, we go for the summer. Am I correct, Camila? We're getting there? Okay. That's all I have for tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Our finance chair, Ms. Lowe.
So I'd like to have Mr. Stankiewicz please come up, and Mr. Stankiewicz is our auditor for the district. He's been working with us for many years, and he will provide a summary. Last pre-meeting, we talked about 8.1, which is accept the 22-23 comprehensive accounting report and audit statement. That is what is relative. The paperwork was shared with us in terms of documents, and Jerry is here to provide us a summary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the board, superintendent, Mr. Rosa, BA, and Mr. Parton. I'm here with good news tonight. Everything is tonight here very positive. We issued the audit, I'm thinking 2 months ago, and for scheduling reasons, we were able to get here tonight. Basically, same as prior years. I think this was an overlap year with Kenny and then Johnny, and transition years are very difficult for everybody, for the board, for the new BA, and for us. It's just a familiarity thing. And he survived and we survived, okay? There really was no problems. There's always some little transitional things, getting to know each other and expectations and all that stuff. But bottom line is we have a what's called an unmodified opinion, meaning the financial statements that were presented to us presented fairly the financial condition of the district for the year ended June 30th of 23. How did we get there? I'll be really quick. Number one, all expenditures were properly documented. They were charged to the correct budget code, charged to the correct fiscal year, and we're in compliance with the public school contracts law. Okay. Most importantly, more important than that is we have a highly qualified treasurer of school monies. The cash ties to the penny on a monthly basis, and Johnny will attest to that. Meaning the bank reconciliation is tied to the general ledgers. It's technical, but as board members, you just need to know, okay, a little bit about the business side of it as well. So the other thing is we do work in payroll, and what we do there is make sure everyone, again, we do samples. It's not everybody, but we prepare sample. Everyone that we sampled was properly paid in accordance with either the union contracts or board authorization or management contracts. So payroll taxes were paid timely, which is important. I don't know that we've ever had, I know I've had school districts where they get fined. Someone forgot to hit send on the due date and the fines are big, okay? They're not $50. So that was all done properly. Our head count, the ASSA enrollment account worked out very nicely. Student activity funds are properly administered, but they have to actually be monitored before it gets to our level, okay? It's too small of an amount for us to get too deeply involved in. Also, our food service fund, Department of Agriculture, requires us not to have too much money, and we do. And actually, Johnny and I were talking in the hallway before. Has nothing to do with the district. It actually has to do with the Department of Agriculture has a rule about not exceeding 30%, okay, of your expenditures with your assets, okay? And really, the problem was caused by the Department of Treasury, who was the one that gave us the money. So we will eventually, or already have gotten a nasty gram from someone at the Department of Agriculture that we have to take some action. Usually what we do in every district is, well, we're spending, we're investing, you know, yeah, so.
We're doing it.
Okay, so then the other thing I just wanted to point out quickly is there's various components of the fund balance, okay? Most of which are spoken for by this point in time. these numbers were measured as of June 30th of '23. And actually, when you open the door on July 1st of '23, most of them are gone. They're legally appropriated, okay? There is some money that, as a result of our audit, it's carried into the '24-25 school year. That's by statute, okay? And then, and I'm going to guess you use some of your capital money in this fund balance to finance what's going on outside here. So,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
to some people, it may be a lot of money, but most of it's spoken for. And at this point, 11 months into the school year, it's gone. Okay, so, and that also was a result of just, you know, every district that I do is sitting fat with money, but I'm thinking by the end of this year, it'll all be gone, as well as the food service. So in the end, we have an unmodified opinion. There's no audit there's no comments that require an audit recommendation that would require an action plan by the board, okay? We haven't had any problems with that. The transition went very well. Everybody in the office across the street was very cooperative. They always are. I mean, whatever we ask for, they get. There's never a problem, and that's important as well. And they should be thanked and acknowledged for doing a good job as well. So in the end, we have no recommendations, and we have an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. And just when it says the statements present fairly, the example would be if, let's say for this year right now, the BA is telling you, look, we're going to have $5 million in surplus, okay? You know, 9 months later, after we go through the whole process, it's still $5 million, okay? If that's the case, then you can rely on the data that your business office is giving you. Other places can't do it that way. They have a number, they rely on the number, and when the audit comes out, it's a whole different number, and then you get a very, very annoyed superintendent of schools. But we don't have that problem here, for the record. So we're very happy that we're to be here, and we're happy that we have been able to express an unmodified opinion.
Oh, thank you so much, Jerry. Does anybody have any questions from Jerry?
No, I don't.
Are we good?
All good?
All good.
Thank you,
So
All
the
right.
only thing you have to do is, I don't know if you've accepted the audit or not, but,
Yeah.
Yep.
okay.
Yep. we're
Have a
good.
nice holiday.
All right.
right.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Summer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. May I continue now with the
Yes, of
additions?
course.
All right, thank you so much. So 8.42, addition approved submit accept the 21st Century Community Learning Centers grant amendment. 8.43, addition approved first renewal RFP 23-004 for the 24-25 food service program with Mashios Food Services. 8.44, addition approved contract Keystone Purchasing Network, cooperative purchasing provider for the 23-24 and the 24-25 school years. 8.45, addition approved Field Turf USA Inc. via contract KPN 202-401-01 high school baseball multi-purpose field. 8.46, addition approved contract Solient Health LLC registered behavior technician services for the 23-24 school year. 8.47, addition approved contract Statue City Cruises field trip services provider for the 24-25 school year. 8.48, addition approved the Gillespie Group via the New Jersey State Co-op contract number 65 MCESCCPS-ESCNJ bid number 23-24-14 flooring services for the middle school. 8.49, addition approved contract school specialty via Hunterdon County Educational Services Commission contract, middle school furniture. 8.50, addition approved contract school specialty via Hunterdon Educational Services Commission for middle school furniture. And 8.25, addition approved contract CDW-D technology equipment for the 23-24 school year. And those were all the additions since the pre-meeting, and I am done. All
Thank you,
51.
Ms. Lowe. I think that's the most we've ever had in my recollection, unless
51 was a lot. Yeah. it's a
it
lot.
is. Thank you. Would you please now continue with the instruction
Okay,
report?
with instruction from the pre-meeting, we have done through 9.9. I'd just like to add in 9.10, which is addition approved field trips. And it's for the high school ESL and World Languages Department and for the class of 2025 that were submitted. And that is all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Lau. The next item on the agenda is our negotiations committee report. The negotiations committee has met with the South River Administrators Association, and we believe we have come to terms of agreement. Is there anything else that you could offer on that, Mr. Parton or Dr. Zurcher?
Yes, we are in agreement. We have a memorandum of agreement, which is awaiting salary guides. We have generated salary guides. I'll be sharing them tomorrow morning with Mr. Rosa and Dr. Zurcher for verification, and hopefully we will have that on your agenda in June for finalization, and then distribute the contract and be done.
Okay. Mr. Rosa, anything to add?
No, thank you.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Policy and legislation, Mr. Budzen.
There's no additions for Monday. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Bazak, would you give us the human resources
I
report?
have 6 additions. Item 12.23, addition approved resignation, Vasela Zarenkova, high school art teacher, 2023-2024 school year. Item 12.24, addition approved appoint Jamie Kennard, high school principal, 2024-2025 school year. Item 12.25, addition approved new job description, number D-2-F, secretary to the assistant business administrator. Item 12.26, addition approved unpaid leave of absence, Nicole Klein, elementary school speech language specialist, 2024-2025 school year. Item 12.27, addition approved revised family leave, Brandon Russo, 2023-2024 school year. And item 12.28, addition approved evaluation superintendent of schools, 2023-2024 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Bazak. Safety and risk management, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you, Mr. Urbanek. There is one addition from Monday night's pre-meeting. Item 13.10, addition approved parent transportation contract for the 24-25 school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Our School Community Relations Committee, Ms. Young Yao.
There are no items on the agenda for this evening.
Okay, thank you. Item 15 is our School Board Borough Council Liaison Committee. Vice President Nielsen.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Zemian's in the audience tonight. How you doing, Hank?
Very well. Congratulations, Cindy, on your 30 years.
Thank you, Councilman.
I would like to thank the South River Board of Health. They have given our extended school year program, okay, hang on a minute, my glasses are slipping. Let me just read this. On behalf of the team of the South River School District, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude for the South River Board of Health's generous donation of supplies for our 2023-2024 extended school year program. With your support, we can provide students with tools and resources they need to thrive academically and creatively. From books to art supplies, your donation ensures that each student has access to the materials necessary for their educational journey. Thank you for your commitment to education and for making a positive impact on the lives of our students. That is with warm regards from the South River School District Extended School Year Program. If you can pass that on, Mr. Dezemian, at your meeting to the Board of Health and everybody, thank them for that. It's great when organizations in town come back and give to our students, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Ms. Sadowski, our PTA liaison.
Thank you. Primary school, they are selling tie-dye t-shirts. They also sponsored a family STEM night on Friday, May 3rd, and I heard that it was very successful. Yes, it was very well attended. Fun Day is next Friday, May 31st. The PTA would like to thank South River Police Department, South River Fire Department, High School Ambassadors Program for their help on running activity stations. Elementary school they are planning for Fun Day, which will be held on Friday, June 7th. They're also planning their 5th grade fun night, which will take place on June 14th. And the 5th grade is actually having a fundraiser to help, pay for 5th grade fun night. They are selling 5th grade t-shirts and lawn signs for moving up to the middle school. And I believe that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a lot. South River Public Library Liaison, Mr. Budzen.
Last Tuesday, they had an adult tie-dye for adults. Every Thursday at 9 o'clock at Daly's Pond, they have a walking club to walk around the pond and the fields. Fridays, there's little learners' story time. Monday is yoga for adults. June 18th is adult craft grown planners. June 26th, we'll start the summer reading program. And later on in the month, hit the website for the summer programs. That's all I have.
Thank you. Our student board representative could not join us tonight, Ms. Becerra. Is there any old or new business to come before the board at this time?
Madam President, I'd like to just,
Please.
something to say. A lot of people probably aren't aware that on May 17th, in 1954, the U.S. Supreme Court came down with the decision of Brown versus the Board of Education for the separate but equal school districts. They overturned that and integrated our school systems, and I think if you walk our hallways and see our student body, we are extremely diverse. We have multiple languages, multiple religions, multiple everything within this district, and they do get along, and we do provide a quality education for all of our students. Don't matter what language you speak, what race you are a part of, and I think we should all be proud of our school district and what our teachers and our staff do to the youth of our country. And I will please reiterate how much we thank them for all they do. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Parton, do you have a report for us?
No, nothing additional to report.
Thank you. Ms. Lell, payment of the bills.
The Finance Committee recommends that all bills presented, having been certified by the School Business Administrator Board Secretary, be paid as listed, and I so move.
We have a motion by Ms. Lell,
Second.
second by Vice President Nielsen. Any questions on the bills? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll pay the bills for another month. Very good. At this time, the Board of Education is going to open up the meeting for the reception of visitors. This will be for any concern or comment that the public has for the board. If you come to the microphone, please state your name and address, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. On first call,
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, congratulations on your years of service. That's wonderful, and it's great to see such a commitment. My name is Jamie Kennard, and I thank you so much for this opportunity to join the South River Committee. I'm very excited to work in South River, and I understand the gravity and importance of this position as I've been in education for the last 13 years, and I believe that I'm as much of a fit for South River as it is for me. I am honored to join your community, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm looking forward to working with the staff, the students, and the community of South River with the goal of supporting students in achieving their highest potential. And like I said, I am so honored to be here, and I look forward to achieving together. Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome.
thank you. Welcome to the district. Welcome to the schools. I think you'll find a lovely home here.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay, any other member of the public wanting to speak? On first call, second call, third call. We will close this public portion, and we have no executive session tonight, so we will now need a motion for adjournment
Nielsen.
by Vice President Nielsen, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Sadowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.